of Transport say aye. Aye. All those against say no. Honorable members, the ayes have it. Honorable Joseph Bukal Inipe has been approved as Minister Designate for Ministry of Transport.
Go ahead. We are not going to vote. It's very good. You don't have numbers to say what to do. Where is the numbers? What are you?
Yes. Yes, Honorable Minority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, as indicated in the report of the committee, the 88 members of the 88 members of the minority reject the nomination of Honorable Samuel Nefe Gorge. We remain opposed to the decision for his nomination to be approved by this House by consensus. We rely on our earlier grounds of opposition without more. We therefore leave this matter entirely in the hands and on the heads of the majority in this House. It is their cross to carry. We, the NPP Minority Caucus of 88, and let the record reflect that we have stepped down our opposition in view of the calls by respected members of this House. We are therefore not going to pursue any longer the secret ballot, but rather to abstain. This is out of deference to members of this House who have reached out in utmost respect, and we want to demonstrate that good faith for the records by saying that in view of the representations made, we would rather opt to abstain from the vote so that it becomes your sole decision for Hansard. We are therefore opposed to it, and Mr. Speaker, it is majority. Carry your own cross. We've washed our hands on them. This is all we've done. Take it.
Honorable members, Honorable members, now that the minority as a group has abstained, I'll go ahead to put the question. After putting the question, I'll also ask for those who are against. Then I'll go ahead and ask for those who are abstaining, so that the records will capture as the minority leader.
Mr. Speaker, our work is to assist you. Mr. Speaker, I am on my feet led by precedents. Once I, as the leader of our side, in my submissions, have indicated that the entire 88 are abstaining. That
Honorable members, please, let's allow.
Don't worry. If Mr. Speaker, we have had this before in this chamber. We are abstaining the entire 88. Let the record reflect as such. And we want Hansard to so capture that it is entirely the decision of the majority. We had nothing to do with it. So, Mr. Speaker, this issue of back and forth, we are not part of it. And let it, put the question to them and let them take it, and then you record it as the majority took their decision. That's all. That's all.
Mr. Speaker, I think it is clear that the minority has no intention to participate in the vote. So you put the question and then let us vote. If after we have voted, nobody objects and calls for head count or anything of that sort, then the decision is taken. It's a majority decision. The report already says that it's a majority decision. And the minority, whether they are 28 in the chamber or they are 88 in the chamber, I withdraw. I take it back. I withdraw. So, Mr. Speaker, just put the question.
Honorable members, the question is, all those in favor that Honorable Samuel Nate George is approved by majority, say aye. All those against say no. Honorable members, it's obvious. Honorable Samuel Nate George is hereby approved by the majority of this House. Yes, Chairman of the committee.
Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I am grateful for the opportunity to, on behalf of the nominees approved, extend our profound gratitude to the committee, the appointment committee, and the House, particularly the majority side. Right Honorable Speaker, I thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you very much. Honorable members, on behalf of the House, let me congratulate our colleagues for their appointment. We believe they will make the House proud. Yes. Yes, let me hear from you.
Mr. Speaker,
Chairman.
the 11th report is ready. Yes. Right Honorable Speaker. So I have to move the procedural motion. Right Honorable Speaker, the 11th report is ready to be laid.
Yes. Chairman, he has laid. They're laying.
11th report of the Appointment Committee on His Excellency the President's nominations for appointment as ministers.
Honorable members, respectfully, the report has been laid and the report to be distributed to honorable members. No way.
Right Honorable Speaker.
Yes.
I beg to move that, notwithstanding the provisions of...
Chairman, I'll give you the opportunity. Let me hear.
Mr. Speaker, it is sunset. We have done enough government business. Mr. Speaker, it is 9 p.m. Honorable Governor Kwame Agboja, once upon a time as a chief whip, will not allow government business to be conducted at night. He knows it. Mr. Speaker, the report has just been circulated. Mr. Speaker, I have checked. This report was just put on the system. Members have not had the opportunity to read. Mr. Speaker, we've often been accused of not doing proper diligence. Yes. We are supposed to read the report. The 11th report, Mr. Speaker, all of a sudden they have populated this chamber. Mr. Speaker, with a lot of their backbenchers, with one aim, to come and intimidate the mighty few. Mr. Speaker, this will not allow. Democracy does not mean that you use your supposed super majority to intimidate us. Mr. Speaker, let us go and relax. Come back tomorrow morning, read the report, and come and do the government business. Mr. Speaker, I would not support this idea of overloading members of parliament. Mr. Speaker, our health, the health of the members of parliament must be of great concern to the majority leader. Mr. Speaker, this report cannot be taken today. There was no proud discussion on this particular report. Mr. Speaker, in the list, there must be a suspension of the House for us to go through the report and, if possible, come back. Mr. Speaker, we can't just be on our feet to take this report. The chair of the committee cannot invite this House in terms of Order 1041. The rules are not to be abused. You should sparingly be invoking Order 1041. Mr. Speaker, this morning the Right Honorable Speaker promised the minority that we would get his protection. Mr. Speaker, that promise is applicable to you, mutatis mutandis. It's applicable to you.
But leader.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Leader, it includes your own friend Akando.
Mr. Speaker, I know the previous report included your own friend Sam George. Your own friend Sam George and my former friend Sam George. Mr. Speaker, I know. Akando is my respected friend. But I want to plead with him that he should allow us to come tomorrow. Mr. Speaker, if Akando has no problem, but his report has been contaminated. There are some poison fruits around his own edible fruits. That makes it difficult for his fruit to be edible. Mr. Speaker, when a leader is on his feet and his whips are putting pressure on him, what can he do? Arrest my case.
Leader, so let's go on. It's conceded, so let me give the...
Mr. Speaker, let us continue with the business.
Yes,
Right Honorable Speaker, I beg to move the motion numbered item number 2 at page 1 of the order paper addendum. Right Honorable Speaker, I so move.
Yes, thank you very much. Honorable Member, the motion on addendum paper 2 has been moved by the chairman of the appointment committee. Yes, minority leader.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the motion. Mr. Speaker, in seconding the motion, let me make some few observations for the records.
Leader, this is procedural. So if you can.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, I am saying that I'm making some few observations for
I'm
the
saying
record.
this
Yes,
motion is procedural.
I am aware. Yes. Is it not under 1041?
Very well.
Yes. Mr. Speaker, for want of time, I will limit myself to just one observation. The chair of the committee, in moving this house, failed to give us reasons for invoking Order 1041. I will, however, second his motion by giving him the opportunity to give stated reasons for inviting us under Order 1041 when it comes to moving the motion for the report to be adopted proper. Thank you.
So it means you've not seconded?
Mr. Speaker, it should be deemed seconded with all the reluctance.
Very well. Yes. Chairman, give us.
Right, Honorable Speaker, the motion is moved and seconded. It's now for the consideration of the House.
That is not your purview. Chairman.
Right.
The seconder wants to know why the reason for Order 1041.
Right, Honorable Speaker. The reason for waiving the 2 days notice that has to be given before the report is taken is that, Right Honorable Speaker, vetting on the nominees have been completed. The report is ready to be taken. Right Honorable Speaker, we need to do this to enable the President to constitute his cabinet on a record time. So, Right Honorable Speaker, once the vetting has been completed and the report is ready, there is absolutely no necessity based on which the House will have to wait for 2 good days before taking the report. Mr. Speaker, in that vein, I moved that we waive the period of the notice so that we can proceed to take the substantive motion for the nominees to be approved, or for this House to take a decision on the nominees. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Right Honorable Speaker.
So, Leader, more or less, it's an application to the chair to waive that.
Mr. Speaker, I'm opposed to the application. The gravamen of his application is to the effect that the President needs to constitute his cabinet. The impression he's creating is that the President conveyed these nominees to this House, so any further delay would cause the President. Mr. Speaker, the President was bringing the names here in tot. He was coming here in bits. These nominees, even the adverts we put out requesting for public memoranda, some were given 2 days, some 3 days. In fact, Mr. Speaker, if you look at the report, the majority side took advantage of our decision to recuse ourselves as a result of Mr. Speaker's communication to railroad all their nominees. Who were on the nominees within an hour. Mr. Speaker, it's only 2 nominees that went through what I call proper vetting. Honorable Kwabna Minta Akando and our respected friend and brother Sami Okudzato Ablakwa, who is to assume the foreign ministry portfolio. That is if we even complete. Mr. Speaker, he has called for a second vetting. That is student days politics energy is still in him. So he's even calling for second vetting. Mr. Speaker, they took advantage of that situation to push all 9 nominees through. Do you call this vetting? And then you come back to make an application that the president must constitute his cabinet. Mr. Speaker, I am opposed to this application, and if Mr. Speaker is not minded by the good arguments made and still want to grant his application, which in my view is very lame. It's very lame. Mr. Speaker, it's entirely in your hands.
Thank you very much. I've granted the waiver because I know the minority leader himself is desirous to have the waiver granted. So, honourable members, the motion has been moved and has been seconded. This is procedural, and the question is all those in favor of the motion listed 2 in the other paper addendum say aye. Aye. All those against say no. Honourable members, the ayes have it. The motion is adopted. Now, let's move to motion 3.
Right, Honourable Speaker, because we are everyday learning, I want to place on record that once the motion is moved and seconded, you can oppose it. Right, Honourable Speaker, I beg to move that this Honourable House adopts the 11th report of the Appointment Committee on His Excellency the President's nomination for appointment as Minister. And Right Honourable Speaker, in doing so, I present the 11th report of the Appointment Committee on His Excellency the President's nomination for appointment as ministers. The following people. Right Honourable Speaker, first on the list is Honourable Kobna Minta Akando as Minister Designate for Health, Honourable Samuel Okudzato Ablakwa as Minister Designate for Foreign Affairs, Honourable Seydou Isifu as Minister of State Designate for Climate Change and Sustainability, Mrs. Charity Gardner as Minister Designate for Ahafo Region, Mr. Salisu B. Awurbe Isifu as Minister Designate for Savannah Region, Mr. Wilbert Petty Brentum as Minister Designate for Western North Region, Mr. Joseph Nelson as Minister Designate for Western Region, Mr. Joseph Adai Akwabwa as Minister Designate for Bono Region, Mr. Francis Owusu Entry as Minister Designate for Bono East Region, Honorable Felix Kwachi Oposu as Minister of State Designate for Government Communications, Mr. Edumwa Ekopeni Ochre as Minister Designate for Central Region, Mr. Poison Charles Luanga as Minister Designate for Upper West Region. Mr. Speaker, I will urge the Hansard Department to capture the entire report, 103 pages report as having been read. Mr. Speaker, I proceed to read the conclusion of the committee. Mr. Speaker, in accordance with Article 78(1) of the 1992 Constitution of the Republic of Ghana and Standing Order 217, the committee considered the nominations submitted by His Excellency the President. After thorough deliberations, the committee finds the nominees competent, knowledgeable, and well-suited for their respective ministerial roles. The committee therefore recommends to the House by consensus the adoption of its report and the approval of the nomination of Honorable Kobana Minta Akando as Minister for Health, Mr. Samuel Okudzato, Honorable Samuel Okudzato Ablakwa as Minister for Foreign Affairs, Honorable Seidu as Minister of State, Climate Change and Sustainability, Mrs. Charity Gardner as Minister for Ahafo Region, Mr. Salisu B. Awurebe Isifu as Minister for Savannah Region, Mr. Welbert Petty Brentum as Minister for Western North Region, Mr. Joseph Nelson as Minister for Western Region, Mr. Joseph Adai Akoboa as Minister for Bono Region, Mr. Francis Owusu Entry as Minister for Bono East Region, Honorable Phyllis Kwachi Ofosu as Minister of State responsible for Government Communications, Mr. Edumua Ekopenyi Ochri as Minister for Central Region, and Mr. Poison Charles Luanga as Minister for Upper West Region. Right, Honorable Speaker, I urge the House to similarly adopt the committee's report by consensus. I humbly submit.
Yes, honourable members, the substantive motion has been moved by the chairman of the committee. Yes, the ranking of the committee.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for the opportunity. Mr. Speaker, I rise in seconding the motion. In doing so, I would want some observations to be properly captured for Hansard in respect of the reports we have. Mr. Speaker, first on Honorable Kobana Minta Akando, it is without doubt that the minority, together with the majority, agreed to approve him by consensus, and there is no problem at all on his nominee, on his report and the decision we took. Mr. Speaker, on the second nominee, Honorable Samuel Okudzato Ablakwa, the recommendation on page 31 of the 103 report reads, prior to the votes, the minority recused themselves. Nonetheless, the committee recommends to the House by consensus the approval of the nomination of Honorable Samuel Okudzato Ablakwa as Minister of Foreign Affairs. Mr. Speaker, this would have to be corrected. Our side had a certain understanding of Mr. Speaker's communication. That notwithstanding, we want to presume this to be a regular vetting, though we recuse ourselves at the, at a point. The conclusion here is that the recommendation is by majority decision. Our side is not part of it, and we will take a vote on this matter. Having said so, for the records, Mr. Speaker, on policy, the nominee distinguished himself on the issues regarding the portfolio he's going to occupy. The nominee himself indicated in his CV that he is the chair of the ORA, which committee we have questioned its constitutionality. We are not against any desire of a government to investigate a crime. Not at all. Crime is a crime, and if somebody decides to commit a crime, the laws of the land must deal with the person. But as it is known, if all men find a man's hand in a till, his guilt must be proven. Due process of law is what we've enshrined in our laws. A moment ago, the leader of government business took us through the rule of law when he was commenting on J.B. Dankwa and his contribution to national history. So, Mr. Speaker, we are against his chair of this aura and the activities in the country. We think, and we hold this whole view firmly, their actions are taking this country back. They must allow due process to take place in our country. As a country, we have used institutions to deal with situations. That is why, apart from the mainstream police service, we enacted a law to establish Yoko. Not only that, we enacted a law to establish Financial Crime Office Center. That is why we set up the Office of the Special Prosecutor. That is why we have the NIB. That is why today you have various divisions at the police service with specialization in different crimes. So, Mr. Speaker, we don't have to appear too populist by encouraging some of these unconstitutional interventions. He proudly said he's a member of that. Mr. Speaker, let me also state he's a chair and a member. Mr. Speaker, I want to state for the records, although some members of this committee have been denying it, we've heard businessmen complaining that this so-called aura has been going to their houses and their office premises with video cameras, photographs, taking pictures. They have been using drones. Mr. Speaker, I here, as a leader of my side, I have been a victim of it, yet they say that they don't know. Mr. Speaker, the former defense minister, last week, he called upon me, the chief whip, and the clerk to parliament. They chased his vehicle in the name of aura. Let's be very clear. Certain things that are happening in this country. Can I finish? Honorable colleagues, please, you need to listen. You need to listen. Mr. Speaker, they chased his vehicle all the way to this Parliament House. And when we made inquiries, apparently it was not coming from national security. And those in charge said that they were sent by aura. Mr. Speaker, national security said these were not their men, but they were using national security vehicle, and when they were interrogated further, they said that they are coming from aura. Mr. Speaker, we need to be careful which destination we want to drive the vehicle called Ghana to. I am happy that the oral committee is denying. That should tell you that when you set up such a populist body, people take advantage. Such a populist committee, people take advantage. Scared of what? People take advantage to settle scores. Mr. Speaker, we do not have to wish this for the country. Now, Mr. Speaker, the nominee,
the nominee, Honorable Collins, he is seconding the motion. So just let's tolerate. Honorable Collins, I know why I'm tolerating.
Mr. Speaker, Honorable Collins Dauda is a very experienced member of this House. He is recounting his own experience, but he knows. He calls me Miwafase. Mr. Speaker, he knows that some of us who were in government never supported a thing like this. He knows that for a fact. And Mr. Speaker, senior members of this house know that there are some members of this house who have the conscience of the society we live in and have never supported any actions detrimental to them when they were in opposition. They know. This is not the time to mention names, but they know. Mr. Speaker, if it was bad yesterday, it remains bad today and it will be bad tomorrow. Mr. Speaker, the nominee went further. Mr. Speaker, the nominee went further without being asked. Produced my own documents on my land. He said that in the name of Ora, they had conducted a search. The good news is that in their attempt to find out whether my land in Winneba belonged to the state, they came to a conclusion that it is not a state land. In fact, Mr. Speaker, I had become aware that somebody had petitioned Ora and had said that the police college in Winneba. Mr. Speaker, my members, my colleagues who are shouting, they should know that this became a subject matter of our proceedings. So I am within the ambit of relevance. So please pay attention. Somebody had filed a petition to Ora claiming that my land in Winneba is part of state land, and the chair of Ora, in coming to his vetting, carried a search report, and in that search report, at least he got to know that where my building is in Winneba is not state land and I've not looted. Mr. Speaker, again, it is important for him as chair and all the members of this Ora to know that, Mr. Speaker, the entire Winneba lands are affected by vested asset through an executive instrument. Mr. Speaker, going further, the nominee, Honorable Samuel Okudzato Ablakwa, if you look at page 30 of the 103 report, I quote, the nominee promised to furnish the committee with the following upon request by the ranking member with the leave of the chairman. There's a list of documents that he promised to furnish us. The nominee has been able to furnish the committee with a documentation only on the survey and water cleanup companies as at the time of finalizing this report. We just need to put on record that there were 9 documents that he promised to furnish us on his own volition. Mr. Speaker, this we have not received. Mr. Speaker, the only 2 they brought, they are still here. The 2 they brought, his company registration, I have it here. Those 2 company registration documents, these are the only 2 that they brought. No, I have captured. Pay attention. I said, no, nominee has been able to furnish the document with only on survey and water cleanup companies. These are the only 2 we have received. Mr. Speaker, we believe that he who comes to equity must do equity. Let the record reflect that this side is not pursuing a member of this house. But, Mr. Speaker, the colleague himself publicly says that he is a public-spirited Ghanaian, and he's on record of always pursuing people and finding out their sources of income, especially the political class. Mr. Speaker, if you are holding people's feet to the fire, Mr. Speaker, I will make this point. If you are holding people's feet to the fire, demanding accountability and transparency, it means that you yourself must demonstrate that when subjected to it, you will...
Honourable member, please.
Mr. Speaker, our colleague Honorable Ablakwa has been taking people on in the public space. He questions people's birth certificates. He questions people's sources of income. He questions people's passport, people's travel. Mr. Speaker, he questions them. If today he lives at airports and provides it on his CV that he lives at the airport and claims that he's a tenant for 8 years, it only stands to reason that he makes available all documents related to the tenancy. We are not pursuing this person. Ablakwa knows that I, Kwame here, will be the last to stand against his political progress. Never. Yes. Mr. Speaker, I will never. Those who know me and know me well know me and what I stand for. I am a politician like you. I will not be the one to be pursuing you. I will not. But to the extent that you do not spare your colleagues, Mr. Speaker, especially during the vetting, I found it very strange that Mr. Ablakwa apparently took the car loan of 2021 because he's on record, both on social media and traditional media, questioning the car loan that MPs take. And he's used the word, it was unconscionable. When I asked the question, he said that 2013, he took the car loan, he used it to buy a Land Cruiser. In the second in his second term, that was 2017, he used that one to buy 2 saloon cars, and then the third one he used that to buy a combine harvester. Mr. Speaker, you and I know that there is no way the clerk to Parliament, upon receiving a letter that a member wants to use his car loan to buy a combine harvester, clerk will not issue a check to a vendor who is selling a combine harvester to a member of Parliament. It is not true, and it can't be possible. He has been pursuing people. He is questioning the integrity of members of Parliament, that it's unconscionable to access car loan. Yet, on all the 3 terms he's been a member of Parliament, he has relied on these facilities. Mr. Speaker, I don't want to say it is hypocritical, but it is also for all of us as a house to realize that we must be measured in the way we pursue each other and one another and others. Today, he is now going into government. I know Mr. Ablakwa as a true gentleman in terms of his dressing. He does, yes, Mr. Speaker, he dresses well. He wears quality things. He wears quality shoe, quality suit, quality tie. He dresses well, and I respect him for that, and he knows. If tomorrow somebody says, colleagues, this is a serious matter. If tomorrow, by mere fact that he's a gentleman, he dresses well, somebody now comes to ask you, how much did you buy your suit? This designer shoe, how much did it cost you? Because, Mr. Speaker, for 8 years, the member says that all he has is his MP salary of 15,000. He says that all he does is his MP work. He has not done other business because the Savvy company, he folded that company up way back in 2015. Mr. Speaker, I am saying this because our colleague has taken a lot of public officers to the cleaners. And this is not personal. This is not personal. He's taken a lot of us to the cleaners. And if you create the impression that you are very holy and very righteous and you are a crusader, yet you don't want to be scrutinized, then there's a problem. So, Mr. Speaker, as a matter of principle, we are opposed to him because of the inconsistencies and the lack of clarity. Mr. Speaker, for the other colleagues, for the other 9 that within 1 hour, they took advantage of our absence to pass all of them. All we can say is that majority, go and sin no more. Go and sin no more. The congratulations bye-bye group. Mr. Speaker, there is a group of 9. Congratulations bye-bye, I wish you well. Mr. Speaker, they even add, bye-bye, take care of yourself. And for them, Mr. Speaker, we will raise a procedural issue at the right time. But we will not stand in their way today because we have no problem with them. We believe that these regional ministers must take office. We can't allow vacuum at the various regional ministries, regional coordinating councils, and even on our colleague Ablakwa, who we are opposed to him. We believe that because that foreign ministry is a very serious, important ministry and organ of state, we will take a decision on him tonight. And let me, without equivocation, state that we will proceed with the same abstinence. We abstain from his decision. It is solely a majority's call. All the sins of Ablakwa are upon their head. Get me water. I need water. Mr. Speaker, this one, I need proper water. This is not a dry washing, just some small water. Yes, Mr. Speaker, this one, we are washing our hands. We are washing our hands to tell them that every sin at the airport hills, Mr. Speaker, I'm cleaning. Mr. Speaker, and I'm cleaning. I am cleaning my hands to tell them that we are not part of the sins that he has committed. All the airport hill sins are on their head. If tomorrow he and his aura start pursuing you, it is on your head. But if he repents and comes back to this house, we will accept him and make him a wa too. Mr. Speaker, we rest our case.
Honorable members, the motion has been moved, has been seconded. I'm going to put the question.
Let him sit down first. Let him also sit down. Let him also sit down.
Honorable members, hey, I'm taking one each. One. Please, I am on the chair. I'm taking the decision. Honorable Dominic Nitiwu, just speak. Honorable Dominic Nitiwu. Dominic Nitiwu, I've called you. One. After one, I'll call one here, then I'll put the question. Yes. One.
No, that, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, Honorable Surini, the speaker spoke as the ranking. He seconded. So please don't say the speaker has spoken. He spoke by virtue of being the ranking of the committee. So,
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. Mr. Speaker, we have 9 nominees that this House is approving. We are talking to the people of Ghana. We are speaking on behalf of the people of Ghana. To say that you approve non-nominees with just 1 or 2, we are not being fair to the people of Ghana. Especially, Mr. Speaker, especially when they are not 9, they are 12 people. Mr. Speaker, when these 12 people, the appointment committee used less than 2 hours to approve these 12 people. So I will plead with leadership that do the people of Ghana good by allowing members who are here after 9 o'clock to get the opportunity to comment. Mr. Speaker, I want to say that we should put it on record that these nominees, this group of nominees, have received the shortest time of their vetting ever. That is the record that those who sat on their vetting are given to the people of Ghana. And if you listen to public commentary, the people of Ghana are not happy about what happened. Mr. Speaker, none of us on this side, especially me or any other person, has a personal problem with any nominee. We don't. We don't have personal problems with any nominee. But, Mr. Speaker, we have the duty to be able to point out to the people of Ghana.
Honorable Nitu, please hold on for me. Yes.
Mr. Speaker, the 12 people, the vetting started from 10 a.m. in the morning and ended around 11 p.m. in the night. Mr. Speaker, for the 12 people. Mr. Speaker, in the morning, the first person we vetted, I think that day, was Akando. Mr. Speaker, the minority participated. Even with their participation and all the opportunities that were given to them, they took only 25 minutes to vet him. They were involved. They used 25 minutes. Mr. Speaker, they left us and we vetted 9 nominees. Honorable Felix, spent close to 1 hour. I personally took Felix through a very, very grueling vetting exercise. Mr. Speaker,
Leader,
I asked him every question.
Leader, I was going to give you opportunity. And
he answered very well, Mr. Speaker. So you cannot create an impression that
Leader,
the committee did not do a good job after you had left.
Leader,
Mr. Speaker, even when you were there, you used only 25 minutes to vet the nominee.
The work of the committee is subjective. That's the way he sees it. So allow him to speak.
Mr. Speaker,
we'll give you the opportunity.
Mr. Speaker,
then you also say the way you see the
Mr.
committee.
Speaker, thank you very much. In spite of his attempt to say that he grilled the nominee, 58 minutes, 9 nominees were approved. That is the record the people of Ghana have. That is the fact. You can check from social media. Check from what the people of Ghana are saying. But, Mr. Speaker, our people say that the child who washes his hands well is the one who knows how to eat with visitors. My good friend, Honorable Okudzato, Ablakwa, they use their hands. Maybe you are from Accra. Me, I'm from a village. We are different. Mr. Speaker, my good friend, Honorable Okudzato, very young man, has decided that he wants to do good to the people of Ghana. It's good. But when you decide, then you have to go the full walk with the people of Ghana. After the vetting, if you go everywhere, the people of Ghana are demanding answers from him. How is it possible, Mr. Speaker, that an individual who says, I earn only 15,000 Ghana cedi can rent from Airport Hill, a mansion from Airport Hill, on a 2-acre land where land is $500,000.
Honorable Dominic.
A piece of plot at Airport Hill today is $500,000. I didn't say I'm renting.
Thank you.
Right, Honorable Speaker, as much as we do politics, we need to be very careful not to wash our dirty linen in public. Right, Honorable Speaker, we know. Right, Honorable Speaker, we know that some matters are for closed sitting. So we should be very careful the way we do some politics regarding certain issues. And I
Honorable
are very much aware
thank
about
you.
certain things that we do in closed sitting. So please.
Chairman, thank you. Yes, Honorable Dominic.
Mr. Speaker, I was not at the vetting of him. In fact, I wanted to be there, but I wasn't there. But Mr. Speaker, I watched him live. I watched him. It was there for everybody to see. It was not about closed sitting. What he said, every Ghanaian heard it. When that question was put to him by the minority leader. So the people of Ghana are still demanding these answers. It will help him and help this purpose and help every politician. It will help every politician if he's able to let the people of Ghana know where he's getting money to rent that property at Airport Hill. Mr. Speaker, I commend them for saying that they will do oral work. I commend you. I just want you to make sure that the oral committee is set up properly according to law and do your work. But Mr. Speaker, I want them to go to Botema first. Go to Botema first. Check the land that was given between 2014 and 2015, 2016. Who are the members who benefited Botema? Go to Botema. Committee chairman, I want you to go to Botema. Affordable had where President Kufuor built. The land that shares boundaries will be state land. It was given in 2014 and 2015, part of it 2016. Find out the people who own that land. Mr. Chairman of ORA, I want you to go to aviation land, that huge land at Medina, Adenta, the aviation land. Find out the people who owned that land. You are part of ORA. Go and do that. Mr. Chairman of ORA, I want you to go to Tamale, behind what we call the residency, where the president sometimes goes and he sleeps. Go and find out, they're all state lands. Go and find out the owners of those lands. Go and find out. Mr. Chairman, I want you to go.
Every parliamentarian takes more than 400
I'm tired after that Nepal.
Mr. Chairman, I want you to go to the land. I want you to go to the land opposite, adjacent to the military cemetery. And
somebody called me from that is coming to you and you want to.
Why are they putting up? No. Mr. I will stay until I'm. Mr. Speaker, somebody is putting up the mic. Mr. Speaker, I thought that
Honorable member, please, let's respect ourselves. Those people who are putting on the mics, please.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Speaker, I ask the chairman of
Honorable members, I'm not. No.
I think Parliament needs to.
Yeah, Honorable Nitu, I'm not going to take any more. I'm tired.
Mr. Speaker, when I start speaking, they put up.
Come here.
Honorable members, those who are putting on their mics.
But when they were doing it, that was here.
Leadership, majority leadership. Please make sure your members don't put on the mics. Honorable members, when I say this and you get flared up, at times we are doing government business, we have to finish and leave. And your own members are putting on their mics. What? So we should suspend sitting. Majority leader, do you suspend sitting? What is this?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I am grateful for the opportunity once again. Mr. Speaker, I said I want the chairman of ORA, and I'll be right officially to you to go to Tamale. Mr. Chairman, I want to go to Tamale and assess. Let me put my hand behind my back so that you know
why
that
can't you be
I'm not
tolerant a
creating no
bit?
problem.
Oh,
Mr. Chairman, I have all of the state lands that were obtained between 2010 to 2016. I will provide the chairman to. Mr. Chairman, I'm surprised that accountability, which is in our constitution, has become a problem here. The oral chairman, thank you very much. Mr. Chairman, Mr. Speaker, let's find out the land that is adjacent to the military cemetery. The letter that was written by the Honorable Attorney, the current Attorney General, and why that letter was written, and why that land was released to Kyei homes, the real owners. Let's find out. I'm charging the oral chairman to find out. Mr. Speaker, I am asking the oral chairman to find out the owners of the state land that is between the East Legon police station along the electricity pylon under the high tension, all that land. Who released that land and for who? I want to find out. Mr. Chairman, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I am bringing this to the fore. Because we are building a country. The country we are building is called Ghana. We must ensure that actions of government are in the interest of the country and not the interest of any individual or a political party. I am saying to the oral chairman, and I'm saying that when your committee is properly constituted, beware that some of us, I was minister, I don't have a single government property. I never stayed in a government house. I never did anything illegal. And I'm saying that I will be writing officially to you when your committee.
Honourable member, please wind up.
I can't wind up. They will not allow me to speak. I'm here to come to the others. Why? Mr. Speaker, what caused that Thursday night is the same attitude that's been brought here. When you are on your feet, when the majority leader was on his feet, I sat down. I've been in parliament. This is my 19th year of being in parliament. I've won 6 elections. I said, leader, when I'm talking, you are putting off the mic. That is what caused the problems. It's wrong. And leader, call them to order. It's wrong. You cannot. Mr.
It's from their end.
It's from their end. From here.
Honorable members, it's now 10 o'clock.
Mr. Speaker,
Let's tolerate ourselves so that we can finish and leave.
Mr. Speaker.
Yes, leader.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I have paid attention. I have watched my back. If you notice, at a certain point, my back was to the speaker. I have watched carefully. I don't think anybody on this side is fiddling with the mics. Maybe his mic has a problem. So if he can shift to another mic, I think that is where the problem is.
Mr. Speaker, I want to appeal to my colleagues, all of us, not just the majority, that we are all here at this time because we want to finish this government business. Mr. Speaker, as democracy so demands, we must have our say. We want to plead with our colleagues to allow a full debate to ensue. My mother had earlier come to me to ask for how many each we're going to take on the report. I told her we have two reports, report number 10 and report number 11. We're going to do 5-5 on each. We are done with the 10. We didn't go through the rigorous voting process. We opted to abstain. We've done that one. We are left with the 11th report. I seconded it. The first person to make a contribution, yes, it's Honorable Nitiwu. He's been 19 years in this chamber. He's a senior member of this house.
The former leader of this house.
He's a former leader. Please, colleagues, let's hear him. When he's done, it will come to you and the process continues. It's 10 o'clock. We are here to help to conclude this. Mr. Speaker, our colleagues must cooperate with you so that we get done. Our 5 would have their bite. Mr. Speaker, what is that? What was the arrangement? Mr. Speaker, respectfully, what number were you giving? Because leadership conferred. Mr. Speaker, I'm not challenging you. Leadership conferred. They sent Honorable Doyo to me. She came here. Mr. Speaker, Honorable Doyo came here. You see, sometimes when members don't act in good faith, it becomes difficult. As if we are up on our feet and we want to obstruct them. We agreed to do 5. If the majority leader wants to reduce it, he can reach out to me. I am not a difficult person to insist that, yes, maybe you don't know. Maybe you don't know me. With time you get to know who I am. Maybe you don't know. I'm not a difficult person. What you are doing, I've done it before. I know how difficult it is. Even to bring all of you into this chamber, I know how difficult it was for the whips. So I won't frustrate you, but we'll do the politics. I will not frustrate you. Ask Haruna Idrisu the kind of person I am. I will not frustrate your politics. No, that is the truth. You must know the truth. Mr. Speaker, we agreed 5-5. If the majority leader wants us to negotiate on the numbers, I am amenable. I know you've been sitting for a very long time. We can deal with it and then make progress. Mr. Speaker, I would want to accept 4-4. Reduce it. Okay, Mr. Speaker, the majority leader says he wants 3. I will grant that. He says he wants 3. I will grant that. Thank you very much. Speaker, for the records and not to avoid ambiguity, the 3 are Honorable Nitiwu, Honorable Abujinapo, and Honorable Intimfojo. That's it. I want to
honorable members, please take it from me. Everybody is speaking for 5 minutes. I'm not going beyond 5 minutes. 5 minutes, 3 each, 5 minutes each. I've been sitting here for since I can't go.
Thank you, Mr. I just want to make one point clear, that the policy to dispose of government property, special houses and lands, started under the former President Rawlings, under what we call infilling. They are making it a crime. That is why we are saying that Amiahe lands, aviation lands, airport lands, east and west, all the areas I have mentioned, will be submitting that to them to fish out who the owners are. Then we will know those who sold land and those who didn't steal land. But Mr. Speaker, I want to wish the nominees well. If they get the opportunity to be sworn in and pass by this house and be sworn in by the president, I want to wish them well. I got an opportunity to serve Ghana for 8 years without blemish. As the defense minister, they should listen to what Honorable Abujinapo said. If you enter the ministry with attitude, 1 year, you'll be out of that place. If you enter the ministry with a mindset that I know all, you will not last. If you enter the ministry that my party has won, and so you do whatever you want, you will not last. If you enter the ministry with the mindset that you are going to make money, you will not last. If you enter the ministry with the idea that everybody else is below you, you will not last. And there are people in this house, outside this house, who never lasted 1 year as ministers. Take it from me. Some did not even last 6 months. Some lasted 1 year. Some lasted 1.5 years as ministers. Those who serve 4 years and above should be proud of themselves. Because you are going to get sleepless nights. You are going to be tempted. So that's why I say I wish them well. I don't wish them bad. None of us will be appointed as ministers. You are the people who will be appointed as ministers. If they will have problems, it will be from you, not from here. We want to take power from you. We are not looking to be ministers.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Yes, gentlemen. So nobody is speaking from here. Yes, Honorable Samuel Buja for 5 minutes.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity to contribute to the debate on the motion. Mr. Speaker, let me begin by highlighting Mr. Salisu Biawobi Isifu, who is Minister Designate for the Savannah region, and to say that, Mr. Speaker, he's somebody I know very well. He was the NDC Regional Secretary, and indeed I've known him as far back as my days in the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. Mr. Speaker, I find him a capable man, and I believe that we can all work together to bring about prosperity in Savannah region. Mr. Speaker, the Honorable Akando, Minister Designate for Health, is somebody we all know very well, a senior colleague in this House. He's been very vociferous on matters of health in the 8th Parliament. Perfect, fine gentleman. We wish him well. We believe that he will do very well at the Ministry of Health. Mr. Speaker, the Honorable Samuel Okudzato Ablakwa, my very good friend, who I believe distinguished himself when it came to the substantive matters. Mr. Speaker, let me put that on record. When it came to the substantive matters of foreign policy. And I think it's important that I underscore that point. I was very concerned about his perceived leanings, leftist leanings and socialist leanings. I posed a question to him. He gave an answer which I believe will comfort the diplomatic community, that in this very complex geopolitical world of divide, of multipolars, he will be able to shepherd Ghana's foreign policy to bring about, and of course, the issue of economic diplomacy is one that I find very important as well. His matter is still at large. Of course, the majority will pass him. When he gets there, we will all cheer him on and wish him well, cooperate with him to position Ghana's foreign policy. But Mr. Speaker, I think it's important that we put this on record. And I'm not getting into the mind or head of my friend Okudzato Ablakwa, but I can be almost certain that if he was offered the opportunity to chair oral again, Mr. Speaker, he would decline. He would decline. He would decline. Mr. Speaker, because oral has brought the Honorable Okudzato Ablakwa more problems than good. Mr. Speaker, and it's brought him problems, and indeed, I think more problems will come. Mr. Speaker, it's brought him more problems because of fundamental principles. And Mr. Speaker, let me underscore one very important principle. Mr. Speaker, the principle of hear the other side, listen to the other side, give the other side a hearing. The majority leader, I think 2 or 3 days ago, the majority leader underscored the same point, that he never condemns a man until he hears the man. Mr. Speaker, let me refer the chairman of Oral to the book of Genesis. Yes, to the book of Genesis. Mr. Speaker, chapter 3, verse 9 onwards, where God himself, where Almighty God himself, all-knowing God, before he condemned Adam, before he punished Adam, he gave Adam the right of hearing. And he posed the question to Adam, and indeed, Mr. Speaker, it was only after Adam put up a spirited defense and God conducted an elaborate trial and gave him a hearing, what the lawyers call the audi alteram partem rule, a principle of natural justice. It was only and only after the defense that God punished and condemned Adam. Mr. Speaker, I want to make the point. Mr. Oral, your problem is that you've created the impression out there that some people are guilty when they have not been given a hearing. Mr. Speaker, that is the fundamental problem the Ghanaian people have with Oral. And Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, let me refer the House.
Honorable member.
Let me refer the House once again.
You are left with 2 minutes.
Let me refer the House.
Yes, hear you. 2 minutes.
Mr. Speaker, I thought we were micro minority. Let them debate the micro minority. Let them debate us, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I refer the House. Mr. Speaker, I refer the House. I refer the House to 1 Corinthians. I refer my friend and brother, the Honorable Samuel Okudzato Ablakwa, Member of Parliament for North Tongue, Minister Designate for Foreign Affairs. Mr. Oral, I refer you to 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 12, where it is said, and I quote, Mr. Speaker, where it is said, and I quote, wherefore let him think that he stands. Take heed, lest he falls. And when I conclude, Mr. Speaker, I conclude by saying that the chairman of Oral, Mr. Oral himself is now struggling to wiggle his way and navigate through the web of
Thank
order.
you.
And therefore, Mr. Speaker,
Thank you.
Mr. Speaker,
Thank
has
you.
brought him more problems.
Thank you. Thank you. Honorable Reverend Intim Fodjo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to contribute to the debate, to congratulate my colleagues who have been nominated to various positions, and to state that we wish them well and will support them to succeed in the roles that they have been vetted to. Mr. Speaker, in respect of Honorable Kwabena Minta Akando, Minister Designate for Health, he demonstrated his experiences in all the experiences that he has had. Being the ranking of the Health Committee was brought to the fore, and we are expecting that he will translate those experiences to delivery in ensuring that National Health Insurance Scheme is maintained and timeous disbursement of payments are done to ensure the smooth running and effective healthcare delivery. Honorable Sedu Isifu, Minister Designate or Minister of State for Climate Change, we wish him well, even though we see clear duplication of roles and mandates here with a substantive Minister for Environment, Science and Technology, with matters of climate change cutting across about 5 different ministries. They still found it fit in their strategy to still create Minister of State for Climate Change. We wish him well. Climate change is an important matter, and it's expected that he will coordinate a lot of these actions in this part of the world. Mr. Ekopin Ochre, I congratulate him, the Minister Designate for Central Region, my region, and to urge him to pay attention to the many chieftaincy disputes in the region and to see to their timeous resolution, and to turn his attention to Ase Mansu Slave Monument, a very huge potential tourist attraction. Honorable Felix Kwacho Fusu, my neighbor, I wish him the very best. He's a great communicator, going to be the Minister of State for Government Communication. It is important that he realizes that the integrity and credibility of government is so important and must be delineated from political propaganda. On my respected colleague, Honorable Okudzato Ablakwa, I have traveled the world with him, serving on the Foreign Affairs Committee. His knowledge in foreign affairs, foreign relations is not in doubt. Mr. Speaker, my good friend has carved a brand for himself that is a man of accountability who seeks to save the public purse. When he was quizzed in that same spirit whether he was ready to sacrifice as a Minister of State to take economy class, he declined. He insisted that he would join. It is not befitting for a Minister for Foreign Affairs to fly economy class. He insisted on flying business class. We thought that in that principle he would have opted for economy to save money. All right, Mr. Speaker, time will not permit me to quote quotations. My respected colleague, Honorable Nana Poku, has quoted enough quotations. But when you strike forward one finger to your friend, the rest of the 4 point back to you. When you chew your tongue, you haven't chewed much meat. And so it is important that much as members are sensitive to their reputations and even demand apologies before start of vetting, they must equally be minded that the many reputations out there, that their actions, inactions, or exposés, even before verification, have costs out there, whether NDC or MPP. But the irony here is that oral so-called exposés only focuses on 2017 to 2024. I have never heard in the extensive presentation of the so-called oral exposés any exposé relating to 2009 to 2016. We have never seen any such exposé relating to 1992. Mr. Speaker, as I conclude, the Honorable But when he was requested to submit only 9 documents relating to his affairs, he was not able to provide them even within 5 days. But he was able to load about 3 bags of documents relating to others. Mr. Speaker,
I wish my brother well, but I want him to know that in the world of the he must exercise absolute circumspection, knowing that he and the president, the 5 minutes is being counted within the time the mic is on, Mr. Speaker. May I remind my respected friend, I wish him well to succeed, but he must have a positive image of this country.
Thank you so much.
And diplomacy. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Honorable members, yes, leader.
Mr. Speaker, let me thank my colleagues for such a spirited debate on the report. Mr. Speaker, first and foremost, Honorable Samuel Okudzato Ablakwa never said any time, anywhere, that he earns 15,000 Ghana cedis a month. He never said that. He never said that. Mr. Speaker, all of us in this chamber know how much we earn. And we know that we don't earn 15,000. So you cannot say that he earns 15,000 and you use 15,000 as a benchmark to determine where he sleeps. Nobody says that. Mr. Speaker, I beg of you, let's be factual when we are evaluating the reports. Number two, Mr. Speaker, Oral is a program that says that see something, say something. Mr. Speaker, we have not restricted what you can see and what you can say. If you have seen anything, say it. Say it. Mr. Speaker, if you think you saw land being taken between 2012 to 2016, say it. If you saw land being taken between 2016 to 2020, say it. Mr. Speaker, but say the truth. We started with a policy of infilling. Infilling. Do you know what infilling meant? Infilling was a policy that you notice that at that time, you will see one small bungalow in a 1 acre piece of land at cantonments. And yet government needed bungalows for workers. So the infilling policy enabled government to fit in additional accommodation in that space. That was what infilling meant. That was what infilling meant under the NDC. But when the NDC left office, the infilling became private people filling in. The records are there. The records are there. Mr. Speaker, the records are there. So don't come and create an impression that NDC is running away from accountability. You had 8 years. If you are concerned about protecting the lands of this country, public land, you should have done so. We have come and we are interested in protecting public lands. So we are telling the public to report anybody who has seen that public land has been stolen. Has been stolen. Mr. Speaker, we have not yet tried anybody for stealing public lands. So those who are alleging that Oral is not giving an opportunity to people to be heard, and they are lawyers, I'm surprised. Because Oral so far has only asked people to report. And when they report, you have to go to the site and verify. You have to go to the site and verify. All I have seen Oral doing on television is going to the various sites where they have received reports to verify. When they put together a report, and then they submit the report to the various investigative agencies, those people will be invited and they will have a right to be heard. And they will be able to explain if the land belongs to them, or the lands do not belong to them. If the land belongs to them, and indeed it was public property, how
Leader,
it became private property?
Thank you, Leader.
At what price they bought the property? Mr. Speaker, please. So please, so far, I have not seen oral commit anything that amounts to denying people a right to be heard. Mr. Speaker, let's not personalize oral. Let's not start calling someone Okudzato Mr. Ora. Mr. Speaker, he is the chairman of a committee set up by the President of the Republic to give the public an opportunity to report any instance of what is perceived to be appropriation of public lands. He is not Mr. Ora. He is the chairman of Ora. Mr. Speaker, what you don't know
is he going to hold on to that position after?
Mr. Speaker, let me tell you, I was a member of the transition team. I was in the meeting at which the decision to initiate oral was taken. I was there. Indeed, there were those who argued that we should wait till government is formed and then we will pass a legislation and establish it, and then it will start work. I was one of those who argued that there was nothing in law preventing the president from asking the public, the president-elect, from asking people to report any instance of stolen property. I argued. I was there. I argued and convinced my colleagues that it was perfectly legal for the president to set up a committee. Listen to the leader. And the committee was set up. Mr. Speaker, there is nothing that prevents Samuel Okudzato as foreign minister to continue to chair the committee. There is nothing inconsistent with the law and his functions to continue to chair the committee. So, Mr. Speaker, let me conclude by saying that we thank our colleagues for their contributions. So far, there is nothing that has been said that disqualifies any of the nominees. They have cautioned the nominees. In some instances, they've given very useful advice, and I believe the nominees will take those pieces of advice on board. And I now urge you, Mr. Speaker, to put the question.
Before I put the question, I want to be clear with respect to the nominee for Foreign Affairs. Are we taking that one on?
Mr. Speaker.
Oh, honorable members. Honorable members, please. Honorable members, the report indicated, Sam George, the report indicated that there's unanimity, but the minority leader said, with respect to Okudzato, they want it to be approved by majority. So that is what I want to be cleared on. So very well. So let me do the rest, then later on I come to Okudzato, Ablakwa. At the conclusion of the debate, all those in favor that Honorable Kwabena Minka Akando is approved as Minister Designate for Health, say aye. All those against say no. Honorable members, the ayes have it. Honorable Kwabena Minka Akando has been approved as Minister Designate for Health. All those in favor that Honorable Seydou Issoufou is approved as Minister of State designate for climate change and sustainability, say aye. All those against, say no. Honorable members, the ayes have it. Honorable Seydou Issoufou has been approved as Minister of State Designate for Climate Change and Sustainability. All those in favor that Mrs. Charity Gardiner is approved as Minister Designate for Ahafo Region, say aye. All those against, say no. Honorable members, the ayes have it. Mrs. Charity Gardner has been approved as Minister Designate for Ahafo Region. All those in favor that Mr. Salisu B. Awulibe Isifu is approved as Minister Designate for Savannah Region, say aye. All those against, say no. Honorable members, the ayes have it. Mr. Salisu B. Awulibe Isifu is approved as Minister Designate for Savannah Region. All those in favor that Mr. Wilbert Petty Brintum is approved as Minister Designate for Western North Region, say aye. All those against, say no. Honorable members, the ayes have it. Mr. Wilbert Petty Brintum has been approved as Minister Designate for Western North Region. All those in favor that Mr. Joseph Nelson is approved as Minister Designate for Western Region, say aye. All those against, say no. Honorable members, the ayes have it. Mr. Joseph Nelson has been approved as Minister Designate for Western Region. As many as are in favor that Mr. Joseph Ade Akwaboa is approved as Minister Designate for Bono Region, say aye. All those against, say no. Honorable members, the ayes have it. Mr. Joseph Ade Akwaboa is approved as Minister Designate for Bono Region. Mr. Francis Owusu Enkwi, all those in favor that he is approved as Minister Designate for Bono Region, say aye. All those against, say no. Honorable members, the ayes have it. Mr. Francis Owusu Enkwi has been approved as Minister Designate for Bono East Region. As many as are in favor that Honorable Ferris Kwachi Ofosu is approved as Minister of State Designate for Government Communications, say aye. All those against, say no. Honorable members, the ayes have it. Honorable Ferris Kwachi Ofosu has been approved as Minister Designate as Minister of State Designate for Government Communications. All those in favor that Mr. Eduamwa Ekwao Penyin Ochori is approved as Minister Designate for Central Region, say aye. All those against, say no. Honorable members, the ayes have it. Mr. Eduamwa Ekwao Penyin Ochori has been approved as Minister Designate for Central Region. And finally, all those in favor that Mr. Posine Charles Ruanga is approved as Minister Designate for Upper West Region, say aye. All those against, say no. Honorable members, the ayes have it. Mr. Posine Charles Ruanga has been approved as Minister Designate for Upper West Region. Now, all those in favor that Honorable Samuel Okudzato Ablakwa is approved as Yes. Yes.
Mr. Speaker.
Yes, please, I'm listening to you.
Started their thing again. They've started it again. Mr. Speaker, I indicated when I was seconding the motion that we are proceeding in terms of the earlier position taken on Honorable Sam George. I just needed to bring clarity to it for Hansard. That this decision again is the majority caucus decision. The minority is not part of this decision. The entire 88 members of the minority hereby reject the nominee for the Foreign Affairs portfolio, and same should reflect in Hansard. We abstain with our entire 88 in that rejection. The majority should know that even if they are doing their majority, if they would not become for us to cooperate with them, I can tell them that if they count, if they do a high count of their majority, they still require a certain threshold by constitution. So they should know the empty seats. They should know the empty seats. Mr. Speaker, you don't need a minority. You need your numbers. You need a threshold. Read the constitution. You have come in as a backbencher. All you are learning is how to shout. You are not even making it to deputy ministerial. You are there at the backbench. You may not even make it to a good committee. Sit and misbehave. So, Mr. Speaker, leaders have worked tirelessly to get all of us to this far. Some backbenchers who don't know the industry that has gone into where we are should learn from the front bench and not misbehave. Mr. Speaker, so in putting the question, I am suggesting to the chair to be clear in the language. To be clear in the language to be used. I thank you.
Honorable members, as many as are in favor that Honorable Samuel Okudzato Ablakwa is approved by majority members of this House, say aye. All those against say no. All those against say no. Honorable members, honorable members, the honorable members, honorable members. Honorable members, the ayes have it. The motion to approve Honorable Samuel Okudzato Ablakwa by majority of the House is hereby carried. Yes, Honorable Bernard.
Right, Honorable Speaker. Right, Honorable Speaker. As a lawyer, I am always a student of the law. Right, Honorable Speaker. If we look at Article 104 of the 1992 Constitution of the Republic of Ghana, it reads, except as otherwise provided in this Constitution, matters in Parliament shall be determined by the vote of the majority of the members present and voting. Right, Honorable Speaker, if I look at the minority side,
But Honorable,
they
you've
don't
gone
have
past
the
this.
number 88.
You've gone past this.
But they always say 88 absentee.
Honorable member, I thought you were just thanking us.
Let me use the opportunity. Let me use the opportunity to thank the entire House for having approved the nominees of His Excellency the President. I'm so grateful for the opportunity.
Thank you very much. Honorable members, I believe you are in my house now. Yes. Tomorrow, when are we coming?
Mr. Speaker, we demand, since the member has raised a constitutional issue, we demand a head count. We demand a head count. We demand a head count to confirm whether they had the minimum constitutional threshold. The member, the chairman of the committee invoked a constitutional provision, Article 104, which requires that majority of members present. So even if it is a majority, they need a wanted.
Honorable
Let
members,
us go through the process of a head count.
Respectfully, honorable member, respectfully, we are coming at 12 noon tomorrow. 12 noon tomorrow. The House is adjourned.